Welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So, got a question today on what is ROAS? What is return on ad spend? And as it was explained to me by some very smart people, it is probably one of the two most important numbers that you need to know when you are wholesaling or flipping houses, right? When you are marketing for sellers who are going to sell you properties at a discount. So let's explain what it means. I'll also maybe explain what the other very important number is. Maybe we'll do another video on that. We'll see how much time it takes. So what people don't really understand when they get into this business is a lot of people think that they're going to get into the business and they are going to find properties that are listed for sale for zero cost and with zero effort, and they are going to then rehab those properties or wholesale those properties and make millions of dollars. The real business, and I was told this really for 4 years when I didn't listen to it, and it's really stupid of me. You are really in the marketing business more than you're in real estate business. And that is because the really hard part about this business is finding deals. People think the hard part is rehabbing, like the stuff you see on HGTV, or the hard part is finding a buyer. Those are not the hard parts. If you can just find deals on a consistent basis, you will never ever be broke. All the other things sort of you can outsource. You can outsource a lot of the parts of finding the deals too. But everything after finding the deals is the easy part. What you're doing is you are marketing, and marketing almost always involves a cost, a spend. So some of the ways that I market are direct mail, I text, I cold call, I pay for Google AdWords for pay-per-click, and I also use ringless voicemail. Every one of those channels has a spend to it, right? Some are much less expensive, like ringless voicemails are really cheap, and direct mail is really expensive. Pay-per-click with Google, really expensive. The return on ad spend is how much you get in relation to how much you spend. It's a straight up ratio, right? Some people call it return on investment. It's the same thing. But the question is, if I'm spending $1, how many dollars do I get back? So I'll talk to you about what's typical in the area, what the really good people can accomplish, and what you should be looking for. Here's the truth. The truth is, when you start this business, if you can get $1.10 on $1 ad spend, you probably should continue doing it, because you probably don't know what the hell you're doing when you start. But most people shoot for either 3 to 4 return on ad spend, right? 3 to 4. If I spend $1 on something, I should get $3 to $4 in return. The really good people in the business, the ones that are locked in, are getting like a 10 to 1 return. That is what I hope to get to at some point. But the complicated part, especially in a place in New York, is that you need to look at it over a long period of time, because especially in New York, and that takes us to the other important metric, which we'll talk about soon, is that it takes a very long time from even when a seller says yes to you, and just to get to when the seller says yes can take weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years, right? Sometimes you have to keep following up with them. But even after they say yes, it could take months to get into contract, and then it could take months to actually monetize the deal. So when you go online to your basic guru, he's going to say, hey, this guy started with me and he made $12,000 in 2 weeks. Much harder in New York, where attorneys are involved and where people have sort of been, I'm not going to say brainwashed, but people are sort of accustomed to the process taking a much longer time, right? Either because they know when they bought the property, it took months. It takes months in New York. In a lot of other states, it takes weeks. Like a quick wholesale deal for a lot of people in this country is 2 weeks. A quick wholesale deal for me is 2 months. So because it can be so long between the time when I spend money and when I get paid, finally, especially if I'm closing on the property or if I'm rehabbing the property, that alone can take 6 to 9 months. So you need to be aware of what your return on ad spend is, and you need to look at it over a long period of time. So I tell the story a lot. For the first 4 years I was in business, I did not spend any money on marketing, right? I didn't listen to people who tell me I was in the marketing business. I should have been in the marketing business, but instead I went to live auctions every Tuesday in Nassau County. I bought properties from bank-owned realtors. I bought on online auctions. I didn't know anything about marketing for 4 years. And then when I started about 6 years ago to finally market to people, it took me 8 months to see any real return on that, to see $1. And you got to understand, I had a lot of advantages. I'd been in the business for 4 years. I had rehabbed a lot of properties. I had money coming in from all those properties I rehabbed. I was spending probably $20,000 a month on marketing. I was spending a lot. So I had a tremendous advantage over most people starting, and it still took me 8 months to see $1. Now that first month I made good money. I paid for all my marketing in that month. I think I had $180,000 a month. But it's still important to understand that if I would have looked at my return on ad spend after 6 months, I get nothing. If I looked at it over a year, it would have been poor. But when you look at it over longer periods of time, you see what happens, because leads get into the pipeline and take very, very long time to finally turn into a deal. So I think in New York, you need to be looking at any kind of marketing over 12 to 18 months to really get a feel for if it's working or not, which is sad if you think about it, because if something's not working, and it could be your mail piece is bad, it can be your list is bad, it can be all kinds of different things that can make your marketing not work. You're not going to know about it in a place like New York for a long time. In most parts of the country, after 3 months, you can really determine whether this can work or not. So return on ad spend is crucially important. It's probably the most important number. Now, the other number that people say is extremely important is your cash conversion cycle, your CCC. Now, in New York, it's going to be longer than other places for sure. When I tell people about my cash conversion cycle, which could be, like I said, 12 to 18 months, people ask me what the hell I'm doing in New York. You've got to understand that it is a big drawback to New York. Now, I've gone through many of the advantages to New York, such as lack of competition, the fact that you make more money on deals, the fact that sellers can't get out of contract. There are advantages to New York. But you need to understand, in New York, your CCC, your cash conversion cycle, is going to be longer. But according to the people who really have the wholesaling business locked down, those are the only two numbers that matter: your return on ad spend and your cash conversion cycle. And I think it's important that everybody understands that. Now, one of the things that you can get lost in when you're figuring out your ROAS, your return on ad spend, is, hey, I'm doing multiple marketing channels, and this one seems a little bit better than the other, and you could jump from one to the other. But you really should not, because every single marketing channel, according to everyone that I speak to, goes through its ups and downs all the time. So it's easy to say, hey, I'm jumping from this one to something that seems a little better, but what may happen is the one you jump to then ends up underperforming. And the reason why marketing channels are cyclical is because often other wholesalers or direct marketers for properties are going to attack a marketing channel. So, for example, mass texting was not even available 5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And it's in certain parts of the country, it became a craze where 50 to 100 people would buy a texting service like Lead Sherpa or Launch Control, and they would start attacking everyone that was on any list. And in the beginning, if you were early, you were getting great deals, right? I know a guy in Oklahoma, he went from like 3 deals a month to 20 deals a month just from texting. But over time, when people get saturated, it ends up not being as effective. So you need to sort of let that. So what you could say is, hey, texting doesn't work anymore. I'm out of here. But the right answer is, I'm going to stick with it. And I know that all the people that really don't have the resilience or the persistence to keep us going are going to get out, and then texting is going to be good. And that happens with almost every channel. Same thing with mail. You got to understand, if you're a prospect and you're getting 100 pieces of mail, and they all say the same thing, I want to buy your house, you may just toss them all in the garbage. But if after 3 months you're only getting 2, and then you want to sell, you're more likely to answer it. So you've got to stick with the marketing, whatever marketing you're doing, for a long period of time, especially in New York, really anywhere, but especially in New York, because it takes so long to get deals. So it's important that you don't look at all your marketing channels and say, well, this one isn't performing so well, or I'm getting a 2.5 to 1 return on this one, but I'm getting a 4 to 1 return on this one. So I'm going to put all my resources, usually money or time, into the one that appears better, because a lot of these things you have to. I cannot believe how many calls I'm getting. You have to stick with these things over longer periods of time, but you have to track your ROAS, your return on ad spend. I really do it. I have a great CRM that does a lot of tracking. All my costs go into it. It tracks for me. I also put it separately on a Google sheet that I check, where I manipulate the data a little more. The CRM I use is called RE Simply. It's really KPI, that's key performance indicator centric. It's very, very, very big on tracking what your ROAS is, what your return on ad spend. But you don't need to use a CRM like that when you're starting. You can use a regular Google Sheet, and the basic way to do it is put every dollar you spend into it and then look at how much you get out. I also track, obviously, on the way towards getting paid, leads, appointments, offers, contracts, and then close deals with close profit. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching I offer, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help my SEO. A lot more people have been seeing my videos. And please keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week. Very often I blank out on what the hell I should talk about. So ask me any question you want. It doesn't even have to be about the video you're watching. I try to get back to all comments within 2 days. If it's something simple, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I've covered before or in depth, I'll send you links to a video or videos. And if it's something new, I'll do a brand new video on it. Thank you very, very much for watching.